good morning to all the students. I welcome you to part 2 of the English poem The Cold Within by James Patrick Kinney. In the previous session, I had explained to you the summary of the poem in brief along with the theme and setting. Today in the session, I'll be taking up the explanation of the poem stanza wise. I move further in stanza 1. It begins, 6 humans trapped by happenstance in bleak and bitter cold. Each one possessed a stick of wood, or so the stories told. The stanza begins like this. Recreating the dark, the poet presents a scene where 6 people are gripped in extreme cold winter, where the winds are blowing, they are cold, and this is supposed to be a desolate place. Desolate means lonely place where only these 6 people are there and a fire is burning. And while these people are sitting around the fire, each one of them is having a single stick of wood in their hands. They are brought here by fate and not by their own free will. Means that they have come here by chance. If you see in the first line, the word happenstance is used. Happenstance means by chance. Coincidence. It has happened and all 6 of them are stuck at a place which is very cold and one fire is being lit and these people are sitting around that fire. In the second line it says bleak and bitter. Bleak refers to cold winds, blowing winds, and bitter. If I look into the weather condition, bitter means extreme cold conditions. But here the poet also wants to elicit the feeling of fear in the heart of the people. It's very cold, they are all outside and they are not familiar with each other and they are stuck in a situation what they had never imagined. So there is a fear in their heart. Possessed means each one of them is having a stick. And the last line, so the story is told, it means, and this is how the story begins. Now, we move further to the second stanza. It says, their dying fire in need of logs, but the first one held hers back. 4 of the faces round the fire, she noticed one was black. Here the poet wants to say that the fire was running out of fuel and it needed more wood to keep itself burning and providing warmth to the people. In the cold winter, the heat which was coming from the fire was very less to keep their bodies warm. So now the only opportunity, or you can say the only chance for them to remain alive or for their survival, was to use their stick one by one in the fire, or to put their stick in the fire one by one, and then only they'll be able to pass the night. But things did not go in this manner. See what happened. The first person, see in the line here, but the first one held hers back, means the first person who was having the stick in the hand, she refrained herself from using the stick, or you can say she stopped herself from putting the stick into that dying fire. Now, what was the reason? Next line. 4 of the faces round the fire she noticed one was black. While she was looking around at the faces of each and every person sitting around the fire, she noticed that among them one was a black. And for the white, the black were considered to be inferior. The white was supposed to be superiors, and the black were the inferior, the slave class. And at that moment when this poem was written, lot of racial discrimination was going on. What is racial discrimination? When you discriminate on the basis of color. So the white had lot of hatred towards the black. The white believed that we were higher class people and the black were only meant to be slaves. So she felt that I cannot use my stick to benefit the black who is sitting here. I cannot waste my stick for such an unworthy person. But she did not realize one thing, that by putting that stick in the fire, she was also saving herself, not only the black person. She was ready to lose her life, but not willing to save the life of the other person. Even at the cost of her own harm, she refused to use the stick. And the main reason behind this grudge, this malice, was the diabolic act of racism. Diabolic means devilish, evil act that was prevailing in the society at that moment. I next move to the stanza 3. It goes like this. The next man, looking across the way, saw one knot of his church and could not bring himself to give the fire his stick of birch. Now, this is the second man with another kind of hatred and another kind of malice. Now, this man is sitting around the fire, and while he is looking around here, he sees what? Across the fire, he notices that there is one man or one human who is not of his church or of his religion. So he decides that he is not going to use his stick to fuel the dying fire and save someone who is out of his religion. Now here you can see that how orthodox, or you can say conservative people, are consumed with hatred. Consumed with hatred means they are full of hatred towards people of other religion. The hatred shown here by this person is to such an extent that he is ready to die but not help anyone. Not to share his stick with somebody who does not share the same religious ideology. This shows religious intolerance and bigotry of faith in this man. Bigotry means dislike, being partial, being, you can say, bias in his faith, thinking that his religion is superior and the other person who does not belong to his religion or does not belong to his church is not of his same level. Whereas the religion and the faith says, love one another as you love thyself. means your own self. To such an extent that this man has gone that he is not thinking about the lives of the people. He is bothered about religion at a moment where they are almost at the verge of losing their life. So you can see here that people have so narrow-minded concepts in life. They are not able to understand the importance of life in front of religion. I now move to the fourth stanza. It says, the third one sat in tattered clothes. He gave his coat a hitch. Why should his log be put to use to warm the idle rich? Now, the third person is wearing tattered clothes. Tattered means torn clothes, representing that he is a poor man and coming from a poor background. He gives a jerk to his coat. Hitch means giving a jerk to his coat, and even tugs his clothes or coat closer to his body. He tugs it a bit tighter. Why? Because he is feeling severely cold. He is pulling that coat nearer to his body to keep himself warm, but not ready to put the stick in the fire so that the fire can continue and the warmth can save his life. No. Why? What is the reason? Because he notices in the group that there is one rich man and he is carrying spite against such kind of rich people. Spite means bitterness, hatred. What hatred? And why? He thinks that he has got everything in life. He is so rich. He is so wealthy. He is not willing to put the stick in the fire. Why should I? I am so poor. I hardly have anything. I have just one stick in my hand. Why should I put in this fire for a man or for a human who is already been blessed with everything in his life? He is having everything in his life. He is not ready to put the stick in the fire for me. Why should I put it in for him? If you notice all these characters, or if you see these three humans here, you will understand, children, that they are not able to realize the importance of life. For them, important things are supposed to be their prejudice, malice, hatred, bigotry of religion. This is what they give importance to their feelings, not to their lives. They are not able to understand that if you are not alive, then what will I do with the money? What will I do with the wealth? What will I do with the religion, with the racial discrimination if I am not alive? How will I be superior? How will I be poor? How will I be religious when I am not alive? This is what the poet wants to show in the poem by saying cold within. It's not the cold outside that is actually making them feel cold. It's the coldness which is inside their heart that is making them cold. Today, children, I end up here, and tomorrow I'll be continuing with the rest of the 4 paragraphs, and then I'll be giving you the assignment. children, this is the end of part 2. I hope you are all safe and doing your previous assignment. Thank you and have a nice day.